Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Am I audible? Am I audible? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, members of parliament, members of PASETA, the Pan African School of Technology, Economics, Technology, and Agriculture, members of Pan African School of Economics, Technology, and Agriculture. Welcome, 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 members of parliament. Thank you so much for tuning in. Am I audible? Can you guys hear me? Am I looking sharp for you guys? We have to discuss this SONA that the president have done. I have at least 2 pages of notes to go through. So welcome, members of parliament. Thank you so much. Very prestigious members of the Pan-African Parliament, where we advocating for Black advancements, where we are deliberate about putting Africans first. Albertuna, we are very deliberate on making sure that we put Africans first in everything that we do. In the school that we build, in everything that we do, we put African first. This is the 6th administration, they call it the last SONA that was given by our president, the Honorable President Cyril Ramaphosa. There's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to unpack on how he delivered his speech, and also the EFF choosing to abscond or to boycott the whole SONA, choosing to say, listen, we are not going to go there. In the beginning, I thought to myself, why is the EFF doing this? But when I came to think about it, really, what was the reason? What is the difference about sitting and watching the SONA that you cannot debate, that you cannot object, that you cannot do anything? Like, you cannot disturb the president while he's delivering the SONA, and watching it at home on your phone, on the TV, wherever you'll be watching it from. What is the difference, really? What is the difference? I felt like the EFF, when I first saw that the EFF, the court ruled against them, that what Parliament has done is right. The power of privilege committee suspending the 6 EFF members and saying they should not be in Parliament for the entire month of February, and even going to the length of taking their salaries. So for me, it was like, no man, why go to the length of taking their salaries when you have punished them already by not allowing them to be in Parliament? Ladies and gentlemen, as you are coming in, don't forget to wipe your feet, so that we can spread the word. We are going to discuss the SONA, some of the key points that the president has made, some of the takeaways, some of the, we did say that it was going to be a cut and paste from the last SONA. Even though there was some little adjustments there, it sounded like a manifesto speech instead of a SONA. I think the president cannot differentiate really his role of the president of the ANC and the role of the president of the country, because when he speaks about the same thing. So I want to hear what you guys have taken out of the SONA and how you guys feel about it. And we have a small discussion here in the Pan-African Parliament. Thank you so much. Caesar says, King, man, I love King says so. Yes, we have to work, guys. I'm having sleepless nights with the Pan-African school that we are trying to open. Already there are doubters. Already there are those who are watching us and predicting that we're going to fail. Already there are those who are asking, what do we know about running a school? But when God is on your side. Yeah, today I actually met with a lady that opened a private school here in Kimberley, and she said, listen, King, whatever you need, whatever advice you want, I can help you with the registration process of school. Just like that, I met a person at the Department of Education who happens to watch our channel, and she said, listen, I'm going to make sure that I push my weight here on the department side. So we're getting favor from all around. Now, When it comes to what is Northwest Podcast saying? Northwest Podcast is saying Cyril is giving EFF hooligans chest pains. Well, you can say that. You can say that they are dealing with the EFF, of course. They are very harshly dealing with the EFF, and only time can tell, or time will tell, if what the EFF has done is something to regret, or was it just a good move that we're only going to see in the future. Nkosi Ngiphile uthi don't go for the informative discussion. Yes, we got it. Yeah, let's make sure that we know how these things are. People come in and come out and whatever, but those who are here, I know, are the true members of Baseta and of Kingston. So, and we need to discuss this thing. So I think we can start. We can start so that I don't keep you guys long. I've got my notes here with me. Yeah, so Cyril Ramaphosa has already. Yeah, one. And we have to push. We have to push. We have to push. And ladies and gentlemen, as Pan-Africanists, unfortunately, we are supporting different political parties, and there's other people that are going to support the ANC. There's other people that are going to be against the EFF, against the Mkhonto Wesizwe. But as long as we remember that we are Africans first, then the fight against each other is not the fight to kill, but it's the fight to correct. And I think most of the time politicians forget about that, and they aim to fight to kill. That's why you saw with all the divisions in the ANC, they were not fighting to renew or to rebuild or whatever. They were fighting to keep people out of the ANC. And remember, you are dealing with people's livelihoodness here, their salaries, their families, and everything. And some of these people have been veteran politicians. They know nothing but politics. But anyway, we're going to make sure that we discuss. So also on the comment section, let's remain respectful as Africans, okay? We can disagree and agree with each other with respect, okay? So the Pan-African, let me just read what my brother said. Brother leader, you will never see a hater doing better than you. The school will be a success. Yeah, man. Believe it or not, some of the doubt is not too far. It's in the family, believe it or not my immediate family, but cousins and all that. But I got a call from my father's brother, Ramita Ramkhol. It's not an uncle. I don't know what Ramwan is ka English, but his call gave me a lot of courage. And he said, young man, you are special. Do not back down. Don't give up. I've got your back. Go for it. So the people that matter are supporting us. So that's the important. That was the plan to deal with them. It's how the ANC works. It was a waste of time. When it comes to the ANC, they will always have the majority in parliament. Well, I think they had the majority for the last time now. I think when it comes to the 2024 elections, it's going to be different in terms of who has the majority in parliament. And there is a fear of a parliament that is unstable because there won't be a sole ruler, a political party that had 50% plus. So even if ANC is in collusion with another party to get to 50%, when it comes to voting for other issues, the ANC might disagree with the rest of the parties, and that small party that they colluded with might also disagree with the ANC, and we might not have policies that are passed and all of that. You guys, you understand the type of struggle we're going to have with a coalition government, especially a coalition government that has the ANC, that will have even if they go underneath 50%, they might still have the most number of parliamentarians sitting there. So was an election, was a voting EFF with my eyes closed. no matter what. Yeah, they just don't vote ELF by mistake because they are the same. And yeah, so guys, we are going to push now. Let's start. The start of the SONA was the same as always, greeting the dignitarians that were in present. He greeted Thabo Mbeki, and I was wondering, okay, why is he greeting Thabo Mbeki? So apparently, maybe Thabo Mbeki was in the building as I was watching the parliament. I did not see President Thabo Mbeki there, and he greeted everyone, greeted Zondo, which was quite funny to me. Zondo and his deputy, the Chief Justice, and all of that. So, and also send a message of condolence to Namibia for losing their president, their 82-year-old president who died, I think, fighting the struggle of cancer. So he started the story going to that 1994 issue, like that 1994. Don't forget to click the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Better sitamiri ukufana na EFF because to Cape Town. Muntu. Okay. Chauke. Oh, okay, Chauke, you're right. It's Tsonga. I'm reading Tsonga in Zulu now. Hi, people. Usteng is saying using maturity to do useless things. I think you wanted to say majority to do useless things. They must use the energy and do something useful. A bunch of empty heads. EFF with your mouth closed. There won't be anything left for you after you eat. Okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Let's get into the breakdown of the SONA speech. So he started speaking about the story of Untintlano and speaking about how post 1994 there's some children were born in houses that have electricity or otherwise would have not had that privilege in the apartheid government. There's some he told the story of this little girl that she got water and she was not going to get water during apartheid time. He spoke about what you call getting free education and all of that. So it is true, and I will keep on telling you guys. Excuse me. I'll keep on saying. Excuse me, guys. I'll keep on saying the ANC has done some good. But the good is overclouded by the bad things that they have done, the administration that they have done is costing South Africans. So the good really, it is there, but so they need to do more. Understand? And we as Pan-Africanists don't disagree that the current South Africa is better than the apartheid South Africa. We don't disagree with that. But we are saying the current South Africa has done little for the black empowerment agenda. They have done very little. They could have done more. They had the two-thirds majority with Nelson Mandela, the two-thirds majority with Thabo Mbeki, very close with Jacob Zuma. But with Jacob Zuma, they had the EFF that could vote with them in terms of the land issue, and they chose not to give us land. But the SONA was absolutely a waste of time. This is Sichaba Worldwide saying the SONA was an absolute waste of time and nothing solid and concrete, and no one holding him accountable. Our president is a wonderful a storyteller. I don't even think he's a wonderful storyteller. Yes, he does not capture me in when he speaks. When he speaks in one tone, in one voice. He tries to be funny here and there when he's mixing the African lingos. But for me, Zuma is a better public speaker than Cyril Ramaphosa. For me, he does not capture me when he speaks. It's like I'm sitting like this because I have to take record and come back to you guys. So the main focus of the SONA was him speaking about the past 30 years. Past 30 years, the economy has grown 3 times since 1994. Who cares how many times the economy has grown since 1994? Can you tell us how much the economy has grown since you took over the presidential seat? Don't tell us about 1994. And that is the problem that we are having with our leaders. Their minds are like, even when he speaks about fixing ESCOM, fixing Transnet, fixing the super railway that they want to build from Johannesburg to Durban, he's speaking about, no, that thing will be completed in the 2030. He's speaking about 5-10 years from now, as if they will be still in power. That is the problem. That is why you need youth. We are building this Pan-African school now, not in 5 years. Understand? Not in 5 years. We've got 24 months to build this school. That's it. We cannot be building a school for an entire 10 years. Come on, guys. As Pan-Africanists, we must wake up and kill. Police on. Hi, my queen. Hi, my queen. Welcome. We're busy discussing the SONA of the president. A very disappointing SONA. A very disappointing SONA. You have to come out and speak for Africans as the president of the African National Congress. You have to come out and speak for advancing black agendas. It's not done in the ANC simply does not care about us. Bro, you are a software developer. Me, no. I know nothing about software developing. Well, I'm not nothing about, but I'm not a software developer. He says the end of load shedding will be there. They will be building about 120,000 kilometers of transmission line. 114 transmission line for the energy to better the energy crisis in South Africa. He's not speaking about something that is going to happen now, not even something that's going to happen next year. You understand? 114,000 kilometers of transmission line. That is going to take you years, ladies and gentlemen. And it should not take you years. It should not take you years. You should be able to do this within months. We have seen how Chinese build buildings like this in no time. In weeks, buildings are standing. You see them building road infrastructure like this. You see them fixing their electricity, because these people, unfortunately, in the parts of the country where they stay, there is a lot of the world where they stay. There's a lot of natural disasters that's happening, flooding, earthquakes, and whatever. So their government, the Chinese government, can't say they're going to fix a road in the next 5 years, like he's saying about Northern Cape and what you call Northern Cape and the Eastern Cape. The roads are bad. The roads are bad. I might say they are not that bad in Northern Cape. You should have said Northwest and in Eastern Cape. The roads in Northern Cape are not bad. The national roads are not that bad. I have to say, I stay in Northern Cape, so, and I travel a lot in Northern Cape, so they are not bad. Africans' unity must be driven by integrity and accountability, not holism and of the EFF, this distortion of the EFF. Yeah, listen, we hear you. We hear your point. We hear your point. But who's going to build that African unity that you're speaking about? The ANC, Northwest Podcast. Who's going to build that African unity you're speaking about? Yeah. Because The money will be stolen in the timeline. Yes, the money will be stolen in the timeline. Once you put a small project like building 4,000 houses. Why must you take 5 years to build 4,000 houses? When there's people that are unemployed, that are looking for jobs, when there's contractors that are have been going for months without jobs, why is it that it's taking us time? Yo, I hate watching time, guys. Flame says he's watching from New Zealand. Thank you so much, New Zealand. Welcome to the Pan Africanist podcast. Here we're advocating for everything that has to do with African advancement on everything. We're putting Africa first. So welcome, JW. Just give us a five-party coalition and stop putting party members on civil jobs. Hire people who can, not thieves who steal. Listen, JW, what I have said about employing people that have no political background or no political mandate or or who are not politically conscious is that they will make you suffer. And then the ruling party will suffer because of that. The example I made is that the ANC has always looked in the ANC to fix the ESCOM issue. Brian Molefe was doing great. Before him, or was the guy before him, they were doing great. But when Cyril Ramaphosa came in, JW, they came with that mindset that let's hire the best person. Even though Andre the Reiter was not truly the best person, but Andre the Reiter had no political consciousness to fix the ESCOM issue. He went into ESCOM with the mind, or a racist mind, to say, I'm going to expose what these people are doing in ESCOM. He never wanted to fix ESCOM. So when you hire and you say you want to hire the best, make sure that person has got a political conscience to be deliberate about bettering the lives of Africans. Don't just hire just because this person is the most qualified and is the most experienced. You hire that person. You'll find that person does not even know how to manage people. You find that person does not even care about the advancement of Africans. So as a Pan-African, you have to tick that box. Upolito says the Eastern Cape roads are very bad. I hear that. Because I think Northwest have got the West, what you call, roads, but someone said no, Eastern Cape is even worse. I was like, oh my goodness, you guys have not seen the roads in Northwest. So we are trying to build Northwest akhuluma into zakhe. It's okay. Sam is watching us from Brazil. African brothers from Brazil watching us. My African brother from Brazil, you have to make a contribution to the Pan-African school that we are building here in South Africa. The name of the school is PASETA, meaning Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. We are concentrating on those sectors, the technological sector, the agriculture sector, and the economic sector. That's what we want to concentrate, and that's what we want to give to the next generation, so they can have an impactful input in the coming generation, in the economy, in the world economy, so they can make contributions. Don't forget to wipe your feet, guys, by clicking the like button. Okay, so who must we vote for? That's the good question. That's a good question. I'm still trying to go through the notes that I have, but you know, the questions are coming in. I'm not here to tell people who to vote for. You understand? I'm not here. Really, that will be, how do I put it? I'm not that type of a person to tell you guys, let's vote for Mkhonto Wesizwe, let's leave the ANC alone, or let's vote for the EFF. I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. Who is the best party that is going to advance? Remember, here you have tuned in a Pan-Africanist podcast. Here we are for Africa, not only South Africa. So who is the best party to advance the African agenda, meaning the unity behind protecting Africans, developing Africans as a whole, not one country per time. Not that thing of one country per time will never work, ladies and gentlemen. Will never work. If all African countries say today no minerals will be exported out of our continent no raw material, no raw minerals will be exported. All of them say it at the same time. America, Europe, and China will be on their knees begging Africa. But if one African country does that, America, Europe, and China, even Russia, they will kill that African president, whoever who is advocating for African unity. African unity cannot come single-handedly. It has to come in a group. You understand what I'm saying? It cannot be that one president like Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso is trying all means to unite the African country alone. At least the general of Niger and Mali have united with Burkina Faso, and they've created an army. They've got, those three countries have got now a memorandum of understanding with the armies. They say whoever attacks one of us, we go for them. And unfortunately, they're speaking about ECOWAS, which is the 15 countries in the east of Africa who wanted to attack Niger because of France wanted to fund it and the US wanted to fund it because of the minerals that they were getting out of Niger. Now we are going to get off topic anyway. He speaks about public hospitals in Limpopo and in Mpumalanga. It is a lie. Brother, let him go to Emalahleni General Hospital today and listen. There isn't a time where a president goes to any public hospital unannounced. The NEC of health is told. The management of the hospital is told, listen, the president is coming. You don't. I know. I'm from Komhlanga. I'm from Mpumalanga, so I know what you're talking about. Komhlanga Hospital is terrible. It's terrible. Terrible. My sister, anyway, was the councillor of the ANC when they built that hospital. So my sister had a big contribution in building that hospital in Komhlanga. So I'm saying to you, the public hospitals are terrible. They almost killed my wife here in Kimberley. In Kimberley, they call it now the Robert Subuku Hospitals, but it was known as the Kimberley Hospital, KH, Kimberley Hospital. Ironically so, Robert Subuku, who they've named the hospital after, died in the hospital after the apartheid government police beat him half dead, and then he succumbed to his injuries in the hospital. So you can just imagine. Don't tell us about public hospital. We know the bad service that the public hospitals give. And he says people are saying they wouldn't leave the public hospital. They are treated nicely. Treated nicely in a public hospital. Whoa. Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not have time to watch it. Instead, I decided to sleep and wake up now. Better to listen to your analysis. Listen, I hear you. I hear you. I had to watch because I have to make the notes and come back to you guys. Again, he spoke about land. The president spoke about South Africans getting land between now and 2030. I was like, oh my goodness, 2030. 2030, he spoke about developing the road infrastructure in Eastern Cape and Northern Cape. I've spoken about that, and he spoke about building a speed rail from Johannesburg to KwaZulu-Natal. It is important to build the speed rail because some of the things that come from that land in the ports need to travel fast to the main city, which is Johannesburg, into the inland, let's say into the inland. So we need a railway that is a faster speedway, not this slow one of Transnet that gets stuck. You find the train just standing in the middle of nowhere because they stole the train lane, whatever it is. They need to build it so that they can transport those what you call those goods faster. Some of us we purchase some goods from China. My goodness, the waiting time. You call in the courier company, you call them all around, they're telling you this stuff is stuck in the depot. And there's nothing you can do. You ask them, can I come and fetch it? Because this thing is an emergency. We bought this thing. We want to open the business or want to open the whatever. We need this equipment to be there in the opening. And they say, unfortunately, you have to wait. So I am all for opening this speed railway from KwaZulu-Natal to Johannesburg. But do it now. Do it now. Guys, we cannot say we are going to build a Pan-African school and 5 years later, we have not built a Pan-African school. What is wrong with us? How old are we going to be 5 years from now? 5 years from now, I'll be in my 40s. Well, I won't be even 40 years old, but you get what I'm saying. I'll be old. I'll be old. There's no time for wasting. When we say we're building a school now. We're building a school now. Now. 24 months is too much. Let's build the school now. In 24 months, let's have the grand opening of the school. If we can do it sooner, then good. But we cannot do it for 5 years, 10 years. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you are the government. You've got the funds. You've got the money. Build these railways now. Why are they ideas on paper? And he spoke about the grants, the social grants that reaches about 9 million people. He says the social grants, the 350s, the one for unemployed people, reaches about 9 million people. 9 million people, and oh my god, 9 million people are getting 350. I don't have a scientific calculator. Can someone multiply 9 million by 350 and tell me how much that is? Can someone who has a scientific calculator somewhere at home multiply 9 million by 350 rand? 350 rand multiplied by 9 million. I wonder what is that. My phone calculator is not going to tell me an answer today. I'm not even going to try. But what I'm trying to say is that Pan-African schools can be built, hospitals can be built every month with this money. Each and every month, these people can build hospitals. Each and every month, these people can build roads. Each and every month, these people can build factories. Each and every month, these people can build farms with that 350 times 9 million. My goodness, Sichaba. 3.1 billion, King. My goodness. Just imagine every month you've got 3.1 billion, and I'm assuming that Chaba is right. I'm trusting him because it's Chaba worldwide. I'm trusting him, but it should be around there. It should be, yeah, because times 100 will be 1 billion. Yeah, it should be. It should be around there. Tulane Dlamini is also saying that. Yeah, so I've got two members of parliament, of the Pan-African Parliament, that have confirmed that the government is spending 3.1 billion each month. Then you tell me the country does not have money? Well, how can you spend 300 and, okay, who's coming with this 315 million? It's not, it can't be 300 and, what you call 315 million, because we are already talking 9 million times 350. It should be in the billions. My king, that one, he said people don't want to go out of private. Yeah, we have discussed it. Greetings and respect, my brother, sending you some support from brother in the US. Thank you so much. The US people, the African Americans will never be freed until Africa is free first. Forget about African Americans being free in America before Africans are liberated. And totally independent from the rest of the world. I don't support rubbish like the G20. I don't support rubbish like the BRICS summit. I don't support the rubbish like Africa, Russia and Africa summit. I saw Italy can summit Africa. Italy. I saw an Africa and America summit. Italy alone can call African presidents to come and sit and discuss what is it that Italy has that Africa does not have. I can tell you many things that Africa has that Italy does not have. We Africans don't have pride anymore. These people are stealing from us monthly. Monthly. Russia can call the whole of Africa. African presidents in their suits and their African regalia is standing in Russia and shaking the Russian Putin's ass and kissing his ass. You find like 28 heads of states in Russia. Doing what? What are you doing there? What is it that you have, Africans, that you are seeking for from the Russian people? What is it that you are seeking for from the Chinese people? Why do you think these people have got interest in Africa? Make sure I don't miss anything. Is the African Union a popular idea in lost African countries, or is it just a certain country like Nigeria? The African Union is a useless organization. Useless organization. They are very silent about, well, not silent, they are vocal, but they don't make any actions towards saving Africa. Can someone type on the comment section what the African Union has done for them? Greetings from Russia. Here's my Russian brothers are here. Thank you so much for tuning in, Russia. We love Russia. We love the way Russia is assisting us as Africans. But we are saying Africans are not beggars. Africa must assist Russia. Russia does not even have enough farmland. That's why they are fighting Ukraine. Russia does not have enough farmland. Chinese are destroyed by the natural disasters. If it's not a hurricane, it's an earthquake. If it's not an earthquake, it's a flood, it's whatever. They need Africa. And we Africans must wake up to that fact that the rest of the world need us. Nobody must take raw material, raw minerals out of Africa. Nobody. But it cannot come from one country. If South Africa says that, they will destroy Africa. I mean, the US have got an army base here in Zambia. For what, we don't know. Why does the US have an army base here in the south, in SADC? We don't even have one war in the SADC countries. What is the US doing having an army base? And that should tell you what type of a puppet the president of Zambia is. I don't care. I'm gonna say it as it is, man. Yeah, guys, there's one subscriber of mine said, King, when you say something, I fact check it. No, good. Do you think I'll come here and freestyle? I don't know what on earth these people were doing in Italy. Okay, yeah, Italy has got clothes. Yeah, but they stole the design from African prints. Tulane says Italy has got clothes. We don't have clothes. That's a point. It's fine. We'll take the point. But we're saying they stole the design from us. So Enoch says, speak, my brother. Enoch Taylor says, speak, my brother, speak. What must I do? On top of the speaking, I must act. Nobody will respect us for forming a Pan-African podcast. It will not have any impact on the African lives. Yeah, what did you do in your lifetime? No, I created a YouTube channel. To hell with that, man. What is a YouTube channel going to do in changing people's lives? We have to build this school. We have to. We don't have a chance. Our generation has done no contribution to the African agenda. We are riding on the backs of the freedom fighters' contribution to our country. When we name heroes that are dead. We don't have any hero that is alive today. Why is that? That should bother us. What happened to the political education to the African child? Why is the African child not waking up and saying enough is enough? Mandela, Thomas Sankara, Samora Michel, they've done their job. It's time for us to take over. You understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Having these discussions and talking, but we don't have a plan. That's why I say, when I say let's do something, back it up. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's build something for our children. We're not going to stop at the school. The school is going to be the first institution we're going to build. There are many other institutions that we must build to liberate Africa. The school is the first one because we want to educate our children. We want to capture their mind. We want to brainwash them. We want to condition their mind to think in a certain way. And school is the best way to do that because you've got the children for more than 8 hours. For 6 hours, 8 hours, yes. You have the children and you have the children the whole year. So we have to grab them while they are still young and condition their minds to say, Africans, this is how we think. And we make sure we give those children the support they need. I'm getting a lot of beautiful emails from you guys. You guys are saying, King, thank you so much. I'm a lecturer in this. When you open the school, I'm raising my hand. And remember, all of these people, they must be paid. People must be paid. There are people that are going to offer their service free of charge, but lecturers and teachers and everyone that's going to be involved in school can't be volunteering. You can't have a volunteer at a Pan-African school. What? Then it means you don't have the Pan-African spirit. Pay the Pan-African so that he lacks nothing and seeks nothing from his colonizers. And that's what we are saying. My goodness, now we are no longer speaking about the stupid SONA. We are speaking about something else. And you guys know how fired up I get to when we come to these things. You know how fired we are alive. Yes, we are pushing. We are pushing. The African leader with Amas of Mangwabe Ramaphosa, okay, etc. I don't hear what you're saying there. Only exists on Wikipedia, and so there's nothing really to push towards an African economy. So, like consensual free trade, I thought that was an idea of the Union. Yes. The Union, the African Union, if you are still speaking about the African Union should have focused on, number one, forming a united African army. That's the first thing they should focus on. The second thing is focusing on a united African currency. The African Union should be pushing for one African language to be taught in all African countries. It doesn't matter if you teach that African language as a third language or a fourth language. You can even, I don't care, but every African country should be able to speak one language. In this channel, we say Kiswahili because Kiswahili is the language that is most spoken by people of our texture, the melanin of the golden. So the African Union has done nothing for Africa. I don't know anything that they have done. All they do is to kiss the asses of Europeans and Americans month in and month out. And remember, these people are getting paid a lot of money. Russia don't have enough land. Why is Ramaphosa buying the story of us being impacted by the war in Ukraine instead of coming up with solutions? We have all the factors of production in Africa. We don't need, listen, Africans, We don't need anyone. Don't tell me about land. Remember, Russia and Ukraine are fighting for agricultural land, and Russia is donating, let me call it PAP. They're donating food to African countries. Imagine, how can you donate food to the Garden of Eden? The Garden of Eden has got the soil to produce any food. The Garden of Eden, the ground has got any minerals that we need. There is no mineral that is found in other parts of the country, the world, that cannot be found here in Africa. Do you understand what I'm saying to you guys? Uh, 12 years simulating the working week. Useless SONA. My people are angry about the SONA. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you. Yes, yeah, I spoke about people there in the hospitals. The national health bill that he spoke about, our president, is something that you cannot roll out haphazardly. 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 We said the solution to fixing the public hospitals and the public schools is that members of parliament, their children and their family must only be allowed to go to public hospitals and go to public school. The public hospitals and public schools will be improved like this. If members of parliament themselves go to those institutions, they will be improved. But why is it that a member of parliament who is governing over the country, but their child is going to a private school? A private school is private owned. Private owned. The government does not have power over a public school, full power, authority rather, or on a public school. So their children must go to a public school. Then you will see how much the public schools will improve. I'm telling you, there will be technology and everything in all public schools if their children attend them. The hospitals, the service will be great if their children if their children and their families go to those hospitals. The National Health Bill is a very easy thing to fix. Remember, you guys are telling me that we are spending 3.1 billion each month just on social grants, and that is not the whole social grants. I think South Africa has got 50 million people that are on social grants when we involve our elders. About 15 million people that are on social grants. So the question then remains, what could we have, guys, you give me 3.5 billion each month, I will solve all South African problems. I promise you, I will solve all South African problems. Hell, I will solve the neighboring countries' problems also. 3.1 billion, guys, each and every month that we are giving to the poor and making them dependent. And the president is so proud of that amount. He spoke about the South African Police Service, SAPS, and he said, listen, they have injected about 5,000 new members, police officers in 2023. Listen, I know some of the police that were taken, that became police officers last year. Useless people. Club goers, unemployed, izinto ezinganancqondo. There is no, you are not going to fix the police system by putting in people that never wanted to be police men and women when they grew up. You understand what I'm saying? You are not going to fix the policing problem in South Africa with solving the unemployment problem at the same time. I grew up wanting to be a police. I think I've told you guys this story before, that my uncle, my mother's brother, my uncle was a policeman. and he would come back with the yellow City Golf, the first City Golf. You remember City Golf Mark 1? And he will come. As he comes in the blue uniform, he would take out his vest, his bulletproof vest, and he would hand it over to me. And that thing was so heavy. I was still a small boy, probably 4 years, 3 years old, carrying that vest into the house, walking. And all I wanted to do when I grew up was to be a policeman. Now life happened and everything happened. So I got tattoos. I've got tattoos on my body. Because you're growing up as a teenager, you want to do some things. And then the next thing, there was a police recruitment. I went there, I passed the psychometric test, I passed the physical test, but now when you go to the tattoos, they said, no, you can't be a policeman with tattoos. So that's how I failed my recruitment test, because I had tattoos. The funny thing is, as a student of the police, you can't have tattoos. But once you are a police, you are allowed to have tattoos. I mean, how does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying? Because tattoos are affiliated with crime and all of those things. My brother is asking me, do you speak French? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that is the problem that we're going to have with the eastern part of Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso. All of those countries, they speak French. Because remember, France, that small country, France, is the country that colonized more African countries than any other country in the world. France colonized more African countries than any any European, American, whatever country in the world. So most Africans speak French. Imagine the French and the Dutch, the English, they fucked us up big time. So manje mangaqala ngithi ngikhulume ilimi lase-Afrika or ngiqala bulabula Shangane or Gibulela Spedi or Gibua Setswana, people are going to be confused because people don't understand African language. If I introduce myself in Kiswahili, I say, habari, mimi na king, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Some of you don't understand that. You don't understand Kiswahili. Ninajifunza Kiswahili kidogo kidogo. You don't understand Kiswahili. You don't understand African language. You speak French. And I'm not blaming you, my French brother, and my African French speaking brother. I'm just saying that is that's the problem that we have in Africa. We are refusing to wake up. When are we going to get rid of our colonizers' languages? Huh? When are we going to? Have you seen the Chinese president? When he speaks in Mandarin, and there's a translator. Do you think Putin will ever speak English? Yeah? You tell me, this Putin that you guys are going to as an African summit, African-Russian summit, he does not even speak English. He does not speak a language that you guys understand. He speaks Russian. He refuses to bend to English or to any other language. He has the pride of Russia. He said, I'm going to speak Russian. We'll get a translator to translate to these black monkeys. That is what they are saying. Because those black people, they don't know their value. Africa has got the biggest population in the whole world. Africans we rule the world. Let me say it like that. If we had to fight, physical fight, Africans will win. We are more than any other ethnic group in the world. Africans are more. When you count how many Africans are in Africa and spread into the world, we are more than any other people in the world. More than Indians, more than Chinese. It isn't a place you will go and not find an African brother and sister. Tracy saying, why are we taking all this time speaking about the SONA? It's a lot of time waste. Yeah, it is a time waste, but it's a time waste that we have to be informed. We have to be informed as to what is happening. For example, let me give you an example, Tracy. The president spoke about South Africa going to host the G20 summit in the year 2025. You understand? So it's important to know such things because we want to know what on earth is it that Africa is going to gain from the G20. You know, the 20 countries that have formed one organization. Feel free. You have a thank you button that you can make a contribution to the channel. Please feel free to make any contributions, and don't forget to like, guys, to like the live, and make sure that you subscribing also. I hate begging for subscribers. I want soldiers, man. Don't want numbers. I want Africans that are passionate about being African. And someone asked me today, King, is white people allowed to come to your school? I think they were testing my patience because I don't have time for rubbish. And I said to them, we're going to have African children in the Pan-African school, and that's all. On top of the African children, because I know some South Africans have got a sickness of discriminating against their African brothers and sisters, I said, we will have a mixture of African children in the Pan-African school here in South Africa. I'm not going to build a school for South Africans only. That is not Pan-Africanism. That is not Pan-Africanism. How can you build a Pan-African school and only want South African children there and chase away Zimbabwean children, chase away Nigerian children, and all of that? That cannot happen under my watch. If you are a person that has a problem with that, you are in the wrong space. You are listening to the wrong person. I'm too passionate about Africa uniting. I am too passionate. I live for the unity of Africa. There is no one that is going to stop me from putting African children in that school. We need to reach the whole of Africa. We cannot, I'm not that person. I need to fix my problem first before I can assist the Zimbabwe. I assist the Zimbabweans even though I've got problems. The sanctions in Zimbabwe have to go. And African countries have to stand up in the SADC and say, America, remove your sanctions from Zimbabwe because we are suffering because Zimbabweans are now fleeing their country and coming into our country. Our national budget is getting strained because we have to take care of our Zimbabwean brothers, and because they are suffering because of their sanctions. Why is it that the SADC countries are not involved in the problems of Zimbabwe? Could be a powerhouse in the SADC country. They've got gold like nobody's business. They've got minerals like nobody's business. I think they've got like 85 minerals. So Zimbabwe can be a powerhouse that can help us in the SADC of Africa, but they are not allowed because the Americans have got their neck, and we as Africans are doing nothing. So in the Pan-African school, we are going to have a mixture of African children in there. It's not going to be South African children only. In fact, I'll go as far as long as there's no mixture of African children in that school, we will not open that school. We will go hunting for those African children. We need a Nigerian child in that school. We need to show these children what unity is. Because if we cannot change it in the mindset of children, the adults have got what you call a hard cop, man, a stone head. It's difficult to penetrate an adult's head because they have grown up with the spirit of hating their fellow African brothers and sisters. Not under my watch. Never, forget. It's not going to happen. Not under my watch. Look, I don't want this thing of Africans. Guys, I hate English. I'm speaking English because we are forced to speak English. The colonizer system is still working. The colonizer system is still working. I hate speaking English. I hate speaking English to my fellow African brothers. There is no English person that is watching this live link. Why don't we have an African language that we can all speak? It's easy to learn a language. It's very easy when you want to. But you don't want to, Africans. You are so relaxed in English. English ends up being the measure of intelligence. When an African person can't speak English, then they are not intelligent. When an African person, my brother from Angola, one of the sponsors of this channel, he says in Angola they speak Portuguese with pride. When you speak an indigenous language, they look at you as if you are not okay in your head. In Angola, and Angola can be a powerhouse also with their oil. The oil in Angola, the oil in Ghana, the oil in Ivory Coast can power the whole world. But we as Africans, we simply don't want to change. We don't want to liberate ourselves. In fact, we think the fight is over. We think the fight of liberating ourselves is over. The fight is not over. In fact, I would say the fight just began. Saint Benedict Boys, the school of Ramaphosa quoted, is one of the best private schools in South Africa. Can he quote something done by the Ngunduta secondary school not far from his parents' house? That's the painful part. I didn't know that. Does Cyril Ramaphosa have a school? Are you preaching? Yes, I'm preaching the African gospel. I'm preaching the African gospel of unity. What about Afrikaans? Woo! Bruce van Niekerk. Luister hierso. Ek praat baie mooi Afrikaans. Ek het Afrikaans geleer van laerskool tot by hoërskool af. So ek praat Afrikaans en ek bly maar in Kimberley. So in Kimberley Afrikaans is ons taal. Ons praat maar Afrikaans elke dag. Maar wat ek kan sê is dat ek hart Afrikaans ook. In fact, I would even go as far as saying I hate Afrikaans more than English. Because the African people, the Dutch people, are the ones that colonized us here in Africa. And with my colored brothers and sisters, unfortunately, instead of choosing their mother tongue, they chose their father's language, which was the colonizer's language. Remember, the story that is being told is that the Dutch, when they came and saw the beautiful Xhosa and Zulu women, they are cavalicious. You know how Xhosa women are. Woo, woo. If you haven't seen a Xhosa woman, I'm telling you, I need to get myself a second wife from the Xhosa land. I'm telling you. They started raping our women because our women were more indulged in terms of their African packages more than their white S-less and tit-less women. And that's how the colored community was actually created in Africa, through rape. And because they came out with a different skin tone from us, the original Africans, they started getting treated differently. Just like in the black community, when you are too dark in your skin color, you get racism from your fellow black people. They discriminate against you, and then that's the situation that happened with the colored people. So the colored people, instead of taking their mother's language, they took their father's language, and the Afrikaner people forced them, the Dutch people forced them to use Afrikaner names and surnames. That's how we came about to have colored people. Some Afrikaner people raped the Khoisan, very also beautiful people, mixing their blood with those people. But the African gene is still strong in those people. So I always say to my fellow colored brothers and sisters that learn one African language, especially here in South Africa. You've got a lot to choose from. Learn one. Learn how to speak an African language. For me, it shows me that you don't care about your African heritage when you can't even learn one African language. En die meeste van mense wat Afrikaans praat, hulle kan nie eers wat is dumelang. You get, I work with farmers, white farmers. I work for the Department of Agriculture, Environment, and Land Reform. So I meet a lot of white farmers, and I work with a lot of white people. I will just come in a room and say Dumelang, or I will just say Sanbonan. They don't respond. They don't know what you are saying, and you are greeting them. They don't even know a white Afrikaner born in South Africa, not knowing how to greet in one African language. Pure rubbish. Pure rubbish. Am I done with the Cyril Ramaphosa? I spoke about the G20 that will be hosted here in South Africa. So, and he started having pride and say, Siabuya, say, meaning the African National Congress will be in power again, and they will be ruling parliament, and he will be giving the State of the Nation address next year. We need to change our national anthem. We need an African anthem and African flag, adding to the language factor king. Yeah, remember here in South Africa, our flag is a new flag. It's not the apartheid flag. We call it the Rainbow Nation flag. All inclusive, all inclusive. I don't have a problem with calling white South Africans South Africans. I don't have a problem, but they are not Africans. And remember, we can even debate the name of Africa and all that, but let's not get into that. Let's just keep to Africa. When it comes to the inclusion, we cannot ignore or be ignorant to the fact that there are Indian people living amongst us, born here in South Africa or born here in Africa. There are Chinese people born here in Africa. The Dutch people, our colonizers, when they came here in the 16th century, they never left. So they were born here. They've got multiple generations that were born here, and they're never going to leave. The African people are never going to go to Dutch. They're never going to go to the Netherlands and go back home. Nobody knows them there. They've been here in Africa for 300 years. They see Africa as their home. You understand what I'm saying? The parliament adults have a real hardcore. All of them are not fit and proper to run the country in the next 5 years. Hello, Baliat. Thank you so much. As long as you worship the image of white skin, blue eyes, and bald hair, you will never you'll never get anywhere. The Bible speaks against worshiping idols. Yes, Pan-African is the only thing that we don't discuss a lot, that we don't put too much effort in discussing, is religion. Religion separates us. Once you speak about Christianity, once you speak about Islam, once you speak about African spirituality, you separate Africans under those denominators. Have you seen that white people don't actually care about religion? The reason why they don't care about the religion, because all the religions in the world were stolen here in Africa. All of them. All of them. You go to China, you Google their history, you will see the black monks and the black Buddhas that were, that they have, statues of, that were recorded in their history. Black. Even Russia. Go to Russia and Google their history. The black, the Africans that ruled Russia, the Africans that ruled Europe, everywhere in Europe. Go to Rome, go anywhere, Italy, choose any country, you will find an African root somewhere. I wonder what happened to our people. I've got an African surname, but prefer English speak English. Yeah. Van Niekerk, Mr. Van Niekerk, I hear you. And my Bruce, I'm assuming that you are a brother, my African brother. I'm not attacking you directly. I'm not attacking you. You are a product of consequence. You are a product of history. I'm not by any ways attacking you, my brother and sister. You are most welcome here in the African world as long as you identify as an African. Because colored people have got a mentality of not identifying as an African. There's no such thing as colored. You are white or you are black. You are white or you are black. Especially if you're from South Africa, you are white or you are black. So if a colored person says, I identify more with my African heritage more than my Afrikaner heritage, I have no problem. That colored can even be in the school that we are building. I don't have a problem because they don't see themselves different from African, African brothers and sisters. I've even went as far as saying we must get rid of all our white names. All our white names. Fortunately for me, I don't have a white name. My name is Kagiso. Kaiso. Kaiso. My name is Kagiso. My surname is Fromane. I'm a Tsonga man, Zinjiva. And for some reason, I've got how many siblings from my mother's side, from my mother and father's marriage. I've got 4 siblings. Okay, 3 siblings is me and 3 others. They all have English names except for me. From my father's side, my father had because we are royalty. My father had another wife, and he had 4 children there. All of them have got English names except for me. So there was something that God was trying to do with my life when it comes to this Africanism. So I've said, let's change our English names. Let's remove them from our ID. And let's not make it 1-1. Let's choose a date and say we are going to remove our English names from our IDs and go to Home Affairs and stop calling ourselves with Bible names. Stop calling ourselves with European names that they have no African heritage whatsoever. Your name can't be John, African people. Your name can't be Peter, my African people. You don't see white people walking around with African names. Why is it that we feel the need to have white names? Why? Yeah, we don't know. A lot of colored people don't have a connection with their Khoi culture. It's not their fault. That's the lack of education of the past. That's the issue. We, the African people, have contributed to the destroying of the Khoi culture. Yes, last year I made a lot of noise on my social media when follow me everywhere where you type King Said So, you will find me. Instagram, Twitter. I'm not too active. I'm active more here on YouTube, but everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I'm not yet on TikTok. I think I might have an account on TikTok, but I'm not a TikTok person. It looks like a waste of time for me. But anyway, I must change my mind because people are making money in TikTok. What was I saying? We contributed to destroying the Khoisan people. Last year, I made a noise. I said, why on earth are we as South Africa acknowledging sign language as the 12th official language in South Africa before the Khoi and the San people? And some of you don't know that the Khoi and the San is not the same culture. They are different. They even have got different cliques in their language. And then there's another other people, another culture that we call the Nama also. So I stay in the Northern Cape, so I know. I work with people, the Khoi, I work with the San people, and I work with the Nama people. Those are 3 different people. There are 3 different cultures. And it is believed when you go and check the history of South Africa, the Portuguese, there's a Portuguese general called Diaz who was ruling a ship that was taking over Africa. He came and landed in the Northern Cape and fought with the Khoisan people and lost 3 times. The Khoisan people had the strongest army in Africa at that time. Let me say in South Africa. They could defeat the Portuguese trying to take our land. Diaz failed. Diaz even went back and brought more ships. He was defeated 3 times. These are the stories that they don't tell you. These are the stories that you don't hear. How special the Khoisan people were, how important their contribution to Africa to be where it is today is the Khoisan people. You understand what I'm saying? We endorsed sign language before them. These are the type of things we should be teaching in our Pan-African school, so our African children can know where they come from, why they come from, where they come from, which part of Africa they come from, and what type of food is grown there, what type of language is grown there, what type of people is grown there. When you deal with Senegalese, what type of people are you dealing with? How to respect, how to greet, how to work the land, what type of plants do you need for what type of sickness. Our children need to learn this, because Tina, we are running to the chemist. Useless Africans. We know nothing about any natural herbs. People are suffering from kidney stones. People are suffering from organ kidneys. I mean what you call cancer that can be cured in the African medicine industry, but you don't want to touch those things because you want a European solution to your problems. I'll be speaking, guys. The Netherlands is not home to me. Yeah, now tell me which part, where do you come from? Why do I have Africans people here? No, say for me, van waaraf kom je? Your ancestors, where do they come from? If the Netherlands is not home for you, tell me where is home, because Africa is not home for you. If you are Africans, Africa is not home for you. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, but also respectfully. So I want to hear what you are saying as a white person. Where is home for you? Where is home for you? Let's hear. He says, Lucia says, this is home. We are born here. That does not make it your home. Being born here does not make it your home. If I go and take my wife and have children in Russia, do you think my children will be Russian? Do you think my children will be called Russian? Even if they have citizenship of Russia, do you think my children will be Russian? If I go and have children in China with my fellow African sister and have children there, do you think our children will be called Chinese? Afrikaans is the best language for everyone. Yo, I've got a lot of nonsense in my chat today. What's going on? Afrikaans people think like that, but anyway, I work with them. I know their type of mindset. They think they are special more than anyone. But anyways, what can we say? Say hi. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan. Afrikaans people, yo. In my short lifetime, I have never met people more heartless than Afrikaans people. And I'm not going to say I've never met kind-hearted Afrikaans people. I work with some nice Afrikaans people. When you look at them, you wonder what is wrong with this white person. You don't see a racist bone in them. But the majority, I've been around people. I've been in private schools almost my entire life, but I was a naughty child. So I've been in 10 different schools from grade 1 to grade 7 to grade 12. Almost every school was chasing me away because I just refused to follow the rules. And most of those schools were Afrikaner schools. large school PS4, large school Alma, large school whatever. I was in African schools most of my life. So I know Africans people. I lived with those people. Even today, my neighbors are Africans people. To get a greeting from them, just to get a hello from them, you don't know. Wait, hold up, man. Forgot that the Middle East is the generator of the main. Um, they are not black. They are Middle East. Jesus was Middle East. Listen to this one. You are debating religion. Pan-Africanists don't debate religion. If you come with that Middle East nonsense and talking that stuff, we don't debate religion. I said, tell me if you are saying you are not from the Dutch countries like Netherlands, what is your home? What is your home? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We were discussing and breaking down the SONA of the president, a very weak SONA, and we said there's nothing that came out that speaks about promoting and being deliberate on bettering African lives. Nothing. All the promises are for 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You know, there's nothing that the president said that could that gave me confidence that Africans will be. He never said anything about African unity. He spoke about the G20 and are we on? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me, or should I get another mic? Am I audible? Jesus, the comments are too much today. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. That one is lying. Let me change it anyway. Let me change it anyway. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies for that. I am buying a mic this year, a proper mic, not this year, this month. So excuse me for that. Excuse me for that. I'm trying to read some of. Okay, let me try to go up on these comments because what you call, some of you are talking some things here that I want to cover. Sound is gone, brother. Okay, we fix the sound. The sound is okay now. I think the sound is okay. Sound. And yep, we can hear you. Okay, we are back here. Why do you think this is Otsile says? Otsile says, why do you think that Africa got conquered by Europeans and Arabs? and how could it be prevented from happening again? Oh my God. That is what we are living from. Otil, thank you so much for that contribution. Thank you so much for that contribution. I cannot pinpoint the exact reason why the weaker Europeans managed to conquer us. Why do we say that? The belief for most people is that the Europeans came with their ships here and conquered us. But the story is told, is half of the story. Africans left Africa with ships and went to the rest of the world. That's why I'm saying go and do your research and you will find the African footprint everywhere in the world. We taught these people the technology, we taught them everything. We were advanced in everything. In fact, the first calendar in the whole world is found here in South Africa. The first calendar of mankind. It is a stone calendar that is situated in Mpumalanga. The name of the calendar is, what is the name of the calendar? I'm just forgetting. Just type the first African calendar in South Africa. In Africa, you will see it. It's the name is, I'll remember the name. So it is only South Africa and Ethiopia that has the oldest calendars known to mankind. Africans were mining before these people came here. They would have you believe that we started mining after them. The oldest mines were built even before they came here. When they came to Africa, these people, they found our kings and queens wearing leopard skins, African clothes, and diamonds and gold crowns and everything. And they asked our African people, they say, where did you get these precious stones? And because Africans are welcoming people, and I think that's one of the problems that got us conquered, is that Africans are too kind. Even today, listen to how Afrikaner people can speak on our comment section. Listen to the arrogance of Afrikaner people here in South Africa. You've got the Groblersdal racist attacks. You've got Afrikaner people putting black people inside a coffin alive. You've got Afrikaner Boer in Limpopo that at the fish and chips shop beat a small teenager and took out his pistol. You've got Afrikaner people discriminating against our African children in schools because of the texture of their hair. We as Africans have stopped fighting because we got democracy. That word democracy is the biggest enemy to African culture. We as Africans have failed ourselves. We stopped fighting. Yes, exactly. RJJ says, where did the Zulu people get the spears and whatever? Spears, mining and trading. We were mining. Remember when the Portuguese came here, they were exchanging with us. They were using the ports, the Cape Town port, the Northern Cape port, and even the Eastern Cape port. They were exchanging with the Khoisan people, exchanging goods for services, giving the people of the that were coasting along the coast, the sea, giving them food, giving them things. And once the African people started seeing how good our land is, our fruits are different. They taste different because of our soil is different. They landed on the ports and they never left ever since. Today they've got the arrogance to call themselves Africans. Putin says, brother, help us and talk about why it is difficult for Africa citizens to get African citizenships in South Africa than white people. Fuck. Because South Africa is a racist? Because the system of South Africa is totally against African unity? because South Africa has got what we call the best constitution in the world. That best constitution in the world protects the needs and the wants of the white people and trembles on the needs and wants of the African people. And remember, you African brothers and sisters that are complaining about getting citizenship in South Africa and all of that, that is why we want to get rid of the borders. You should not be seeking for citizenship in Africa. You are an African. There should be one identification document that identifies you as African everywhere in Africa. We should have a central home affairs system. We should have a central army. We should have everything must be centralized where everyone's information appears on a central database. You understand what I'm saying? So, hey, let me see what we can do here. I'm not a person that likes blocking people, but I might have to take some actions against some other people. I like engagement. I love engagement. I love it when people are discussing respectfully. So, but you know how African people are. They are just going to come here and be disrespectful and do whatever they are doing. Um, and Moses keep blaming others. No, we are finished with blaming others. We are no longer blaming anyone. We are no longer blaming anyone. That generation of blaming white people for colonizing us, that generation of blaming Afrikaners for stealing our culture, taking our heritage, stealing our surnames, we are done. We are not part of that generation. This generation is the generation that acts. We are going to act and show these people that we don't love what is happening in Africa. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, when I say South Africa is racist, I don't mean all of us as South Africans. Obviously not. I don't have a racist bone for my fellow African brother. I mean the system that is there. A white person will get better service than an African person from Ghana here in South Africa, and that's the honest truth. A Zimbabwean will get treated different at Home Affairs than a white person. I've seen situations where they tell people the system is off at Home Affairs until white people get to the tail, and all of a sudden the system is working again. So when I say South Africans are racist, I mean the system that is placed there discriminates against our fellow African brothers. Not to say the entire African country, South African population is racist towards African brothers and sisters. Contrary to popular belief, South Africa is the most welcoming country in Africa. All of the world is in South Africa. South Africa is the Dubai of Africa. There is no question about that. I think I did remove him. Alexander was. Let's hope. Alexander says, let's hope that we can vote the ANC out this time. Well, it's gonna be a difficult toll. Alexandra, you don't even know if the IEC is captured or not. If we say Cyril Ramaphosa has managed to capture the courts, probably the IEC is also captured. I always tell people, you don't understand who is involved in the background when it comes to elections. Other countries want to keep Cyril Ramaphosa as president because he is not pro-African. He does not trouble the land. He's not touching. I mean, a president, have you heard the president speak about the currency manipulation issue? Have you heard the president? White people are coming out and saying Nedbank and other banks are charging black people a higher interest rate than the white people. Have you heard the president speak about it? Have you heard any anger from him? Have you heard anything from him as our president? I'm just asking. Have you heard anything from our president when it comes to the rand manipulation? I mean, if these banks can manipulate the rand, one of the strongest currencies in Africa, they're probably doing it in all African countries, because we don't want to own the financial sector. We don't own the Reserve Bank. We don't own the printing of our money. It's so sad. It's so sad, Alexandra. So I don't think. I hope we can vote the ANC out, but I will not be surprised if the ANC win. I will not. That's why I've decided for myself and my contribution and my community and my people, we are building the school. The school will be one of the first institutions that we're going to build. It's not going to be the first and last thing that we do as the community, especially the community of this YouTube channel. We are putting hands together and building a Pan-African school. So if you have just joined, the name of the Pan-African school that we are building is PASETA. It stands for Pan-African School of Economics, Technology, and Agriculture. That's what we are doing. We are tired of complaining. Complaining does not help us in any way, shape, or form. In 50 years from now, I want Africa to be speaking an African language. The whole of Africa united under an African language. So for that to happen, we have to start now. We have to start with the little that we have. We have to do the little that we have now. And all of a sudden in Ghana, somebody builds a Pan-African school. All of a sudden, someone in Kenya builds the African school, of which they already have. And all of a sudden, someone in Namibia builds a Pan-African school. And so on, we build these schools and these institutions, and we link them. And then we change the syllabus of the white people. Imagine the education system of South Africa is called basic education. What the fuck is basic education? How do you call your education system basic education? Are you giving your citizens basic education? It's so heartbreaking what we have accepted as the norm here in South Africa. It's so embarrassing. They say the ANC might be 45% this year. Let's try and get them at 40. And let's get them out of numbers and vote. Please, guys, anyone in our circles should vote. Yes, we should vote. An ANC with 45% is still going to be their ruling party. They're not going to find it difficult to find small parties that form 5% and get in a collusion with them. They're not going to find it difficult. Because remember, when they approach these small parties, they approach them with millions of rands and give them positions in parliament. So if ANC gets 45%, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Cyril Ramaphosa will still be the president. The US is building more army bases in Africa as we speak for the benefit of the native. Please. The US have got more army bases than any other country in Africa. Imagine. So with putting their military presence in the African footprint, they are actually telling you Africans that don't even think about it. Don't think about closing our mine companies. Don't think about closing your minerals. Don't even think that you Africans can get your minerals back. Don't even think about it. By the US and the French building their army bases in Africa, that's exactly what they are saying. The question is, why is it that African president allowed this? That's why I say the African Union is useless. What is the job of the African Union? Where is their contribution? Where are they looking at when this US has got armies everywhere in Africa, army bases everywhere in Africa, even in countries where there's no wars, they've got army bases. You ask yourself, what are they doing there? They are there to intimidate Africa, to tell us straight that you should not even think about liberating yourself. Liberating yourself from what? You are not going to be independent from America. That's exactly what they are saying. But they are beatable. Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali have shown us that these people are beatable with the will of the people. Even after the Niger general removed the former president, Mohamed Bazoum, they removed him and they kept him in the house. They said, you're going to sign over your presidential rights to the army. They didn't harm him. They kept him in. And they told the French army to go back home. They said, you guys, we don't need you here anymore. Can you please pack your bags and go? The French army and the French ambassador refused to leave Niger. They refused to leave Burkina Faso and Mali also. It took the Niger government cutting water supply and electricity supply to the army base for them to leave. It took months for Mohamed Bazoum to sign over his powers. That is what is happening. So the problem is Niger did that alone. So they almost suffered death because of that. But luckily, the youngest general in Africa, Ibrahim Traoré from Burkina Faso, helped Niger. Remember, these people built their army bases in Africa by saying, no, we are assisting you to fight rebels. But they've been fighting those rebels in Niger for years. After the French army was removed from Niger, and Burkina Faso and Mali started assisting Niger to fight the rebels, they got rid of them in months. In months. I've always said there is no rebel camp that should be strong enough to beat an army of a country unless that rebel camp is endorsed by the Western world. You understand what I'm saying? PASECA, nice, straight to the point. Yes, PASECA, Pan-African School of Economics, Technology, and Agriculture. That is the school we are building. When it comes to that, I'm busy now at the Department of Education with the paperwork, taking everything that is required from me so that I can register the school formally. So please pray for me. It's not easy. I've ran multiple businesses in my life, but building a school is something that is different. It's not easy, especially when people hear the name Pan-African School. There is a resistance from even our own people, not taking us seriously. I'm a young man. When I come to the department and say, I want to build a school, they start asking questions. Where are you going to get the money? Where are you going to get the land? They don't know who they are talking to. I wish they would tune in on YouTube so they know who they are talking to. Because there is no one that is going to stop us from building that school. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Over my dead body, will anyone stop us from building the school? If they don't give us the papers to participate in the main education system, we're going to form our own education system. Nobody's going to stop us. Nobody is going to stop us from making a change in our generation. We're not going to be the generation that did nothing in their lifetime. We are refusing to be the generation that talks too much, that complains too much, that opens WhatsApp groups, that opens YouTube channels, Twitter channels. That we refuse to be known for winning Grammy Awards. We refuse to be known for Amapiano. We refuse to be known for soccer and sports. We want to be known for making an economical difference in our lifetime. You guys understand what I'm saying? Okay, we have covered the SONA, guys. And I see you guys are very active on the comment section. I'm enjoying it myself, but I have to do some videos for you guys before I sleep so that you guys can get it. Every day I try by 7 o'clock that you guys must get a video. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you could be so kind to release me on the comment section. I'd like to speak about the EFF never worked with the ANC of today. Alexandra, okay, you guys are busy chatting here on the comment section. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of more people. So what I will have next time is what you call a screen when I do live, so that I can see your comments on the screen and stop touching my phone like this, because I'm going to miss some comments. Understand? They even made a law of it. Check out in the 1957 Witchcraft Supremacy Act. Let nonsense. Basis. Okay. So if you guys can be so kind enough to release me on the comment section, if I can just get 3 people that can say King good night, I will be on my way to make more videos for you guys so that tomorrow morning you guys can get something. And make sure that you are subscribing, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. Some of you are not going to contribute to the Pan African School, but for the sake of the African spirit, continue watching this YouTube channel because I think I can convince you. I can whip the black consciousness out of you. I am released. I've got more than 3 people that have released me. Sure, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I am going to upload this live for those who have came in late so that you can see the breakdown of the SONA. Really, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much, everyone, guys. May God bless you, and may you do the little that you can in terms of raising awareness for Black consciousness and the Black agenda. When you see a fellow African brother hating on another fellow African brother, step in and try to drop in some wisdom there and say, no, let's not do this, let's not do this is how we do it. And tell the people about the channel. We have to make a noise. Very soon we'll be on the national TV, on mainstream media that is busy poisoning our people like this, and we'll be making our contribution there. The channel is growing. The channel is growing. We are growing at the rate of 1,000 subscribers each week, which is not too bad. We can do better, but it's not too bad. I'm not complaining about the 1,000 subscribers each week. So thank you so much for everyone. You guys are sharing the videos. You guys are doing your part to grow the channel. But I need your help even more in terms of building the school, your expertise. I've got people from Ghana, DRC, and everywhere who have sent me emails saying, King, I'm a specialist in 1, 2, 3. Can you consider me at your school or whatever? And don't worry, there is no teacher that is going to be paid more than the teachers that are working at the Pan African School. We're going to pay our teachers more than any other teacher in South Africa. We're going to pay our teachers lecturers' fees. We're going to pay them good because there's nothing that will motivate a teacher that is giving their all, but their family is suffering. It's not going to happen. Not under this school. Not under this school. Up to the cleaner. We're not going to have cleaners that don't have cars. We're not going to have gardeners that don't have cars, mode of transport. We're going to make sure that everyone is liberated really from what we are doing. So thank you guys for releasing me. Somebody sending me putting the great. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's meet again tomorrow, guys. I'll have another live link when today is Thursday. Let's meet again 9 o'clock Saturday. 9 o'clock Saturday, let's meet again, my African people. Thank you so much, guys. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. And after you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.